Floridians get these storms. They don't believe them. They think they're going to turn. They think it's hype. But this one's not hype, folks. I mean, we're talking a strengthening system at landfall, and it is huge. I mean, people compared Charlie to Ian, and that was their decision to stay because Charlie was a tiny little storm. This thing is so big. It's going to be pushing so much water. And I think a lot of folks are going to get caught off guard. A lot of folks still focus on that cone as the impact area. And this is impacting people all the way, Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to have hurricane force winds. So I think it's just showing you the power of the Gulf of Mexico. We've been talking all season about these water temperatures being very warm, and it's proving the powerful storm is going to have far-reaching effects. And the size is what scared. Ian was a 4. We saw what that did. And another thing that I'm concerned about is everybody's so focused on this center line eye, but this system is so big. With Ian, we had hurricane winds 80 miles apart. So there's a lot of folks affected. Even if Tallahassee gets a little, this thing goes a little bit to the east, but as the mayor said, it's something that they've never experienced here. And, I think there are going to be a lot of power problems and trees down. It's going to be a mess. Definitely seeing waters are up. You can kind of see it. It's creeping up. And that's the problem with surge. It comes in so fast usually with these winds. And that's what people get caught off guard. They're like, oh, it's nothing, and then all of a sudden it comes in sometimes so quick. And then you like little towns like this here in St. Mark's, there's one way in, one way out. And if your one way out is covered with water, you're basically trapped. And that's why it's so important to get the heck out because there's no other way to go. And if the rainfall, it's another story I'm concerned about. It's in record rains in Florida, and that's been happening this whole summer. And we're going to get accumulated rains here through the night. They're talking about 20 inches possibly, So that's going to be another story that we're going to see. And Tallahassee's very roly-poly, and there's going to be a lot of flooding on top of trees down. It's not going to be pretty. The winds are actually going to be very, very significant. And even though the eye of the storm has entered into Taylor County, you are absolutely going to see major, major gusts in Jefferson County, in Wakulla County, in Leon County. Everyone needs to take it seriously, extremely seriously. The potential storm surge is well beyond the immediate path of the hurricane. Could be significant and deadly. For you and your family's sake, I urge everyone in and near the path of the hurricane to listen to local officials and follow evacuation orders. I'm told to do so. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, lots of debris. Almost getting knocked down out here. It floods sometimes when you have a bad storm, but this is the most I've seen it here in a while. The neighbors who live here say they did not expect this. They didn't think strong winds would come to Orange County, but they did. And this is what it left behind. Paneling is literally laying across the front of their home and on their lawn. It's even covering this white vehicle over here. The neighbors tell me they don't even know how damaged the car is because they can't even get to it right now. They are upset. They're devastated. Of course, this is an unexpected expense. They are, however, hoping that the insurance company can cover that. And so I did speak to one of the people who live in this home who described what they heard when the roof was being torn off. So we were having dinner tonight, and as soon as we got done with dinner, all of a sudden you just hear this loud rumble for about 10-15 seconds. And then you just looked out front and see the roof just coming off. And for the past 45 minutes or so, it's just progressively gotten worse. I think the greatest risk right now is that this is still a very dangerous situation. And even though some of the storm surge is receding in Florida, it's still, the water is there and it's dangerous. And you need to exercise extreme caution in Florida if you're going out and starting to check in on your home. But if you are still in the path of the storm, with the flash flooding that you're seeing in Atlanta, what we expect to see in North Carolina. I'm worried about landslides in those areas. And so there's such a variety of threats that are coming from this storm. We're hearing reports of tornadoes in certain areas. And so there's still so much that's happening across many states. There was record surge. Our previous record for storm surge was 4 feet. And last night we had about 7.5 feet until this morning. So double what had ever been recorded in Clearwater. And that caught a lot of folks, old timers who have lived on Clearwater Beach by surprise, really throughout our Tampa Bay region, throughout our islands along Tampa Bay. And so it was historic, and being, over 100 miles away from the center of the storm, that was kind of unbelievable that we'd have the kind of impact we did here last night. We had people who decided to stay last night, and they regretted that, because I was getting calls from several of them saying, water's never threatened my home. It's at my doorstep, Mayor. What can I do? And it was too late at that point for our first responders to get the most of them. We did rescue some people last night. I know there were 2 or 3 dwellings on North Beach of Clearwater that we just had to let burn. So this morning we're out there. A drone video revealing the overwhelming destruction after Hurricane Helene roared ashore in Florida, slamming the coastal community of Steinhatchee as a monster Category 4 storm. Helene also leaving her mark beyond the Big Bend as a tropical storm. Dozens of people had to be rescued from the roof of a hospital in Tennessee, surrounded by fast rising floodwaters. The death toll from Helene has risen to 43 tonight. It's a chance for me to give back to another community that's in need. Living in an area that has wildfire risk myself, I always appreciate the fact that there's people out there to help me. So when I can, I like to go and help others. Class volunteer here in Colorado is headed to Florida as we speak to help people recover after Helene hit as a hurricane. This video in Tampa gives you an idea of what they're walking into. The city provided that video showing the extent of the flooding there. Then there is Treasure Island, Florida, west of Tampa on the Gulf Coast. Flooding, a common theme after this storm. At least one person in Florida has died. When she gets there, Deb will focus mostly on feeding those in need, and that is something that she's done before. And it's a long day, but it's a rewarding and kind of an exciting long day. And it's also kind of an adventure. You don't really know what you're walking into or where you're going to go or who you're going to meet, but it's always very rewarding. It is a tropical storm now. I don't know why he keeps doing that.
My best is the bills here. Yeah, that's not that. So earlier, we what? My best is the bills here. Yeah, that's not that. So earlier, we